Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop again this week, a little bit early. I got to go on a Wednesday instead of my usual Thursday. And I got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new comics. That's a big week for me. That's 2 weeks. And I barely even glanced at them. And when I was at the store, I was too busy chatting. I was chatting with this kid. He must have been 10 or 12. He just started collecting comics. So he was asking me who my favorite Batman villain was. I was like, I don't like any of the Batman villains, really. He's like, his jaw dropped. He was like, what? Ra's al Ghul was his favorite. But there's some comic shop news. Optimus Prime Directive. Is that Klingons versus the Transformers? Okay. Whatever. Little Spider-Man on the back. Whoops. There we go. Little Spidey for you. Usual comic shop news stuff. Other one with lots of news in it. Some of them just have checklists, but that one's news. So that was my only freebie this week. So let's see what comics I got. Let us start with Uber. Issue number 15. Uber's excellent. I think it's wrapping up. I think we're in our last year or something. Little look at the art inside. Don't want to spoil anything. The theater has moved from the United States to the Soviet Union, and I think it's about to hit the Soviet Union, and Japan are about to get in it with their super people. But there's, what do we have here? The short woman on the cover, who's normal sized, is the woman who's in charge of this whole project. She's the spy who stole the book from Germany that lets them make superhero people. And the woman in the wheelchair is an attempt at making an all-strength super person instead of giving her... Because it's like they have a choice. There's like slots they can fill. And they can give like some strength here, some psionic powers there, some this here, and they don't know what's going on. They're trying to figure it all out. And they fill up all her slots with super strength. And she can't even heal right, and her legs got hurt, but she's really, really strong. So, interesting story. As always, Uber Invasion. What is this? Sim and Hobbs, Teenage Mutant Ninja Cerebus. Last Wednesday of the month, though this is the first Wednesday of the month, there's always there's a new Cerebus number 1. That's oh, weird. There's a little Dutch angle on all these comics this month, but I enjoy it. It's a Cerebus comic strip. You can read. I think you can read this all on the web, but I like getting a Cerebus comic, so I buy it. Paper Girls 23. What just happened in Paper Girls? They were running around. I remember them running around in the future trying to find their way back home. And there are people after them. Just random pages here. Nice colors in this one. It's weird because when I shoot from this angle, I really don't look at the comics because I'm looking at the screen. When I'm looking down at the comics, it's kind of dull. So when I shot the comics themselves, I actually looked at the comics more. Because when I do this, I really can't see the comics. Weird. Still trying to figure out this heads-up stuff, but it's like me looking through the comic is kind of dull, isn't it? I mean, you don't get to see anything. But I don't want to spoil anything for you or me. The final issue of The Prisoner. I think this did a good job at capturing and modernizing The Prisoner. Only 4 issues, it turns out, but they took a new spy prisoner and they've been messing with him in the village. Hard to describe. If you've seen the Prisoner TV show, you know what to expect here. It's kind of more of the same from the Prisoner TV show, which I guess is all you can expect from a licensed book. But it's well done. It's well drawn. It's well written. Overall, I think they do a good job with it. And here we have Stray Bullets, Sunshine and Roses. Issue number 37. There was just an announcement that the Laphams will be doing some series for, I don't know, Vertigo, Black Mirror. I can't remember what's it, but they're doing a new series, so I don't know what's going to happen with Stray Bullets. But Stray Bullets is his best stuff. I just was started. I reread the first volume of Young Liars, which it must have come out 10 years ago. It's something David Lapham did with Vertigo. There's 3 volumes of it, and I wish it was better. It's trying to be this fun, chaotic, weird book, and it is weird, but it just, the plot doesn't hold together as much as I'd like it to. Like this is just so brilliant. I mean, Stray Bullets is just a brilliant, brilliant book from beginning to end. The storytelling is excellent, the plot's excellent, the art's excellent. But like Young Liars, it's just a swing and a miss, and I don't know how that happens. But and that's what I'm afraid of with whatever new series he has coming out from whoever he is coming out. It'll be Young Liars, and it'll be a swing and a miss instead of a home run like this one. But I'll probably check it out. Thief of Thieves, and this is the last story arc of Thief of Thieves. The second to last story arc ended in December of 2016. That's when, what issue is this? This is issue 39. Issue 38 came out last month, and that was the first issue since December of 2016. They're just wrapping up the series. We got a different writer on it. This is the new writer's name, Brett Lewis, but the artist Sean Martinborough is what brings me back to this comic. I think he just does such a nice job with it. It's a caper comic. They're trying to pull things, and I just like his art. I think he's an excellent storyteller. And, it's had like 2 or 3 different writers on it. This is at least the 3rd writer, if not the 4th. I cannot remember how many writers it's had. But Sean Martinborough has been on it for all of them, and he's the star of this show. Then, second to last, we've got The Walking Dead. We all know what that is. It's The Walking Dead. It's here issue after issue. It's good stuff. I don't want to reveal too much because I'll spoil it for all of us. And we don't want that. But, The Walking Dead, the New World Order story ended. That's where they found a new, bigger civilization that's, I don't know, miles and miles and miles and miles away. They had to go on a journey to get it. And then some of those people came here to check out the Walking Dead civilization they got going on. And nobody trusts anybody, but they're all trying to be nice and political about it. And finally, The Highest House, issue number 6. This is the final issue. Maybe there'll be more. Who's the writer on this? Mike Carey. I think I saw someone retweet a post from him saying, "Oh, the final issue's out today." Maybe we'll get more of it if it sells well. So I'm sure that they'll see how well it sells in collected edition to see if the money's there to make more of it. But I've really, really enjoyed this series. I just reread issue number 5 yesterday because it's kind of my habit to what I do is I read my comics twice before I put them away. So I bring them home from the comic shop, I put them in my database, I make my video, I put them in my to be read spot, I read them, and then I put them on top of my printer, actually, in my to be read again spot. So that they're just kind of lying around for another week or maybe 2. Usually it's a week. Where I can kind of glance at them, look through them, and then read them one final time. Like, I think Highest House 5 only came out a couple weeks ago. I don't think it's been sitting there a month. But I gave it I knew this one was coming out, so I gave it a second read. And it's amazing how much I forget in a week or 2. It's like, and I started doing that because I found what I was doing was I was getting my comic, I was reading it, I was filing it away, and then I forgot I ever read it, kind of thing. It was like it wasn't sticking with me. I remember back when I was a kid, the way I used to read comics was I'd get a new comic, I'd read it again, it'd sit around my room for a while. I'd read it a couple more times, then I'd finally put it away. But a new comic sat around for a month, or at least when I was like, when I was bored, I'd take them out again. So I kind of wanted to embrace a little more of that and not put my comics away so quickly. So that's what I've been doing, and that's why I read The Highest House #5 just yesterday. Fantasy historical tale, a little magic in it, a little politics in it. Some royal families in it, some slaves in it, some I really like the artwork. I really like the storytelling. Got a very fantasy element there. There's some guy in the woods storytelling, but like I said, and I like this format too. I like the large size. I actually really enjoy looking at the art in this comic book pamphlet format because you can really look at it. It opens. Full spread. It's not like sometimes trade paperbacks or hardcovers don't open like this. And it kind of ruins the reading experience for me. So I'm very much enjoying this format as well as this comic. All right, now let me show you a couple of pieces of artwork. This I did this week. This is one of my painted ladies, number 21, and it's different than my other painted ladies in that it's kind of a lot of my painted ladies faux covers are photo referenced. This one isn't. This one is drawn out of my head, so she's got different proportions, and even the marks on her, the tattoos, the painted part, is kind of took a different tack than I normally do. There's not like all these shapes go across. In a way, usually I do more geometric patterns like this, but I kind of did something different with that one. So that's just, I pulled out another thing recently. This is my the very first Dreams of Things cover I did. What's the date on this? 1/22/16. So I did this 2.5 years ago, and I think I did a smaller one first. This is version 2. Nice spirals. I like the way this one came out, just because I like kind of the graphic design nature of it. I like the all this black up here and the pattern of the hair and the pattern of the purple. But that's just a little bit of art, and a little bit of big comic week, 8 comics. So you guys all have a good week out there.